kids, take care of her. Are you on the right or the left, kids?
I just parked.
Do you live in Marysville? Or are you just not talking, you're just videoing?
It's just amazing to me. We don't have to be like this.
Billionaires should pay more than their
I really do feel like a boy.
percentage of
It's small. So then why is it such a big topic inside the Republican Party? Okay.
this crowd.
Okay, but let me...
And they're not teaching the kids the basics. Math.
Like
We are
critical,
one of
like
the
critical
worst
thinking.
states.
They are.
They're not teaching
They
you
are.
critical
I've been
thinking.
in school,
but
sir.
they're
They
not.
are.
Yeah, there's no critical thinking at all.
Critical thinking.
It
Are
doesn't...
you getting all this?
So
Yep.
it just doesn't have to be that way. And I understand what you're saying and I'm hearing you. But if when children are young, they decide
Children are impressionable.
they are impressionable and they're impressionable by their parents too, which can make them not be who they really are from a young age.
Why were teachers protesting against people signing the Parents Initiative? So the parents are the primary stakeholders in your children's lives.
Right, and it
That
happens
stuff
a
is
lot.
already on the books to help abuse children.
But sometimes the schools have to take over as having power over those children because it's not safe at home. Like for the girl that's getting raped by her stepdad, is she supposed to go home and is he supposed to have a say over her when mom's not doing anything to help her? That is a reality that
That's
young
already
people
on the
face.
books. You can
No.
go.
No, it's not.
You're not acknowledging
No,
how
it
many
is our-
people
they're trying
don't
to
care
suppress
about their
it
own
with
kids.
a lot of
They're trying to keep
is
kids from being able to.
the Democrats, like Ios or whatever his name is out of Linwood,
You've been fed
would not define affirming. Affirming can mean different things. It can mean, oh, little Billy, you want to be a girl? Not a girl, but okay, right? And then there's the other affirming, like, oh, you want to be a girl? Come on, let's go change it.
But it just doesn't happen like
There are
that.
two different definitions of
That's not
affirming.
humans to treat them like humans.
And you should do a little thinking, you know, about stuff. You know, don't believe everything they hear. School coming back a different sex. Okay, it's not happening.
It's just not real.
Just like there's no such thing as after-birth abortion.
Tell me a woman that you know, by the way, because I love this argument because nobody can ever come with facts. Do you know a woman personally that is 6 months after she's bought a crib, decorated a room, picked out a name, and probably close to having a baby shower said, fuck this fetus, I want a martini.
And although I am pretty, I know that I'm a biological man. And a man is a provider and a protector. And the quote-unquote men of this state of Washington have failed women, and they have failed our girls, and they have failed our daughters. And you know that we have failed when I go to the Seattle airport and I go to the men's room and there are tampons in the men's bathroom. We're going to bring common sense back to Washington State. And you know we're making a difference when there are protesters here. So just now, thank you for being here and taking a Sunday to be out here. But again, January 2nd, those people, the people protesting election integrity, voter ID, they would love nothing more for this to fail. They would love nothing more than us not to get the signatures that we need. And so really I challenge you, will you honor me by taking a blank petition form today and getting 20 signatures? Here's the grand design. Why am I here in Washington?
Make it great again.
Whoever said that, I like him. I like that man. That's a good man. I'm worried about November 2026. Guys, we just got crushed in the November election. We now have a Democrat governor in New Jersey. We have a Democrat governor in Virginia, a flip from red to blue. And in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, where we just had victory the year prior, we just elected 3 Democrat Supreme Court justices. While MAGA is beautiful, while MAGA is powerful, a lot of us are 1 out of 4 voters, meaning we can win presidential elections, we'll come out once every 4 years, but what happens the 3 years in between? Are we really going to reflect and go, okay, we're just going to lose 2025, we're going to lose 2026, we're going to lose 2027, and hope for the best in 2028? We can't allow that to happen. So here's the grand design and the plan. Why am I here in Washington, where everybody says, Scott, go to Wisconsin, go to Michigan, go to PA, go to a swing state? No, I am here in Washington State because I believe in you. I'm putting a magnifying glass on your state, and I'm going to let the president know Washington State is ready to peacefully fight back. After we get the signatures that we need, I'm going to Oregon. I know. And we are working on a petition to end automatic vote by mail in the state of Oregon. Then, I'm traversing to California. I know. Worst Christmas ever. And we are working on a petition to get voter ID in the state of California. My goal and my hope is by empowering the people to understand that it is you who are the masters of your destiny. We collect these signatures, we provide the people an election integrity component on the ballot going into 2026, and that will drive voter turnout, which will help flip seats in the House of Representatives from blue to red, and ultimately protect President Trump, his ability to not be impeached, and his ability to be a 4-year president, not a 2-year president. That is my intent. And so I ask you, please, join. Even if you're not happy with the party right now, I implore you, knowing the leadership of Jim, join WAGOP.com. Become a precinct committee man official. Become the PC chair, the PC captain. And let's create a party and an infrastructure and an apparatus that is going to steer the Democrats and get out Ferguson in 2026. And just because there's so much good energy and excitement and you can just feel the vitality in this room, with your permission, Matt, our beautiful executive director, can we do some questions from the audience? Is that okay? Like whatever you guys want. I feel the energy. I feel the passion. So if we have a second mic, can I give it to someone? Okay.
Maybe. Scott, it's a bucket list to meet you. I've been following you, so thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm a little bit confused about, I've heard the avenue to proof of citizenship has some glitches. Are you aware of the glitches that some true conservatives are concerned about? Either you, Mike, or Scott, that some people were pausing about it, and I wanted to come. I was on the fence about it, and I was wondering if you helped educate me more about it, then I could be bolder in getting my friends who are kind of pausing about it, get them over the hump.
Well, tell me what you're hearing. I'll admit I'm a little bit of a neophyte when it comes to Washington State, but maybe Matt might have more of that insider baseball that I'm not aware of. But tell me some of your concerns.
I think it was a two-pronged approach, and I'm not expert on explaining it, but I think the first is the voter tabulations. Until we correct that, it doesn't matter how passionate we are, if there's a problem with the voter tabulations, that's only one.
Sure.
But the other glitch, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, was the avenue in which we're sending through that initiative. It sounds like it might be going on the wrong route or the wrong person, I'm not sure.
Thank you for your question.
So I can talk about the initiative itself. The initiative is an initiative to the legislature, which, let's just be honest, the Dems are not going to pass it in next year's session come January. It will just sit there, probably won't even get a hearing, and then it'll go to a ballot next November for you to vote on. Now, if somehow the Democrats actually vote on this, it'll be a miracle. I don't actually think that they will. But I do think it'll be on the ballot come next November.
Why we're doing this for a second. So just to be clear, we're doing this to bypass Seattle and your legislature. They are not going to act on anything having to do with election integrity. That's why this is people power to do the 26 states with citizen initiated petitions to do it this way. This is our final option. This is our plan Z. That's why we're doing this, because Seattle hasn't acted. Now, when it comes to, I understand some people are going to say, Scott, how do you vote your way out of a corrupt system? Well, I will say, Donald J. Trump won the popular vote in 2024. You guys, I think that should get some rousing applause. You guys have proven, we in 2024, we beat the cheat by making the election too big to rig. You did it already. You beat the algorithms. You showed up. That's why I'm doing this, so we can drive enough turnout to break whatever algorithm they have, to break those tabulations. Our main problem in 2024 was allowing people the authority to know that we could win, because we all suffered through 2020. We all knew what happened to us, and we didn't want it to happen again. We proved we can do it. Now, what's our biggest problem? Getting Trumpers to vote in every single gosh darn election. That is our biggest problem right now. And that's why I'm here. To take a photo with you.
Alright, Scott, we got one back here.
Yes.
2 questions. If we get this initiative passed, what are the steps taken then to follow through with the initiative, to get people to show their citizenship and follow through? And 2, the second question is, can you give some specifics of what you did initially to start getting 50,000 people voting Republican?
Yes.
I'll have Jim answer the initiative one if you want to take the 50,000 right now.
Thank you. So here's one of the biggest problems the Republican Party has, is people will say to me, Scott, how do we get X vote? And they always say, when you're trying to reach out to, especially to a minority group or whatever, how do I get the black vote? How do I get the Hispanic vote? How do I get the Amish vote? Guys, I'm not Amish. But you know what I do have? I have an earnestness, and what I did is I showed with my heart, I showed an eagerness to learn, to listen, to shut my trap, to open my ears, to immerse myself in the community. And I think it was through those actions that I came to gain trust with the community. And once you build that trust and rapport, I'm not going to go straight in asking for a vote. That's not what we did in Baltimore. It's not what we did with the Amish community. But first show a willingness to show up and learn, and that's how you win over communities. And also, 30% of Christians are not registered to vote. 30. Our country would be radically more positive if every Christian voted their biblical values and if we got them registered to vote. 30% of hunters in Pennsylvania are not registered to vote. 40% of Wisconsin hunters are not registered to vote. 250,000 gun owners in New Jersey are not registered to vote. Guys, there are more Republicans and conservatives in America than Democrats. Democrats are just better about galvanizing their base. That's why I'm not saying change our moral compass, I'm not saying change our principles or values, but use the tactics of the left in order to mobilize and get Republicans to vote. That is what I'm trying to accomplish here. And so, back to your question, the one that asked me about the 50,000, meeting voters where they are. And when you guys take your petitions, go to your gun shop. Say, hey, can I have permission to be inside or outside of your establishment collecting signatures to get voter ID on the ballot? Take it to church. Go to Home Depot. And women, if you're single, Home Depot is a great place to meet a man. I'm serious. If you want good toxic masculinity, go to a gun show. They're all bearded, they're all tatted, they're all muscular. Ladies, you're gonna have a great time. Okay, we're ready for Jim.
don't know if I can follow that. Scott's absolutely right about this matter. Trust. Establishing trust with people and reestablishing people's trust in our elections is key to getting voter turnout up. Now, to the mechanics of IL26-126, that's the voter ID initiative. It is, as Matt said, an initiative to the legislature. So it goes first to the legislature in Olympia, assuming we get the 300,000 plus signatures. It goes first to the legislature, and then if they don't act on it, it goes to you, the people, to vote on in November of 2026 in that general election. The other two initiatives that are out for signatures now, Restoring Parents' Bill of Rights and No Boys and Girls Sports, also initiatives to the legislature. So they would go there first. They actually, Matt, to your point, they have to have a hearing. By law, an initiative that qualifies has to be given a hearing, but it is not required to be given a vote. And they hate that because they have to have the cameras on and discuss it, and then the speaker, Lori Jenkins in Olympia, would choose not to vote on it. Bad optic for her. So that's the path. And as Matt said, very likely the majority Democrats in Olympia would not touch any of these initiatives and send them to the people for a vote in November, but we'll see. Let's get the signatures first. Now, to the question of these mechanics of how does the voter ID initiative work and how would it be enforced, there is a false narrative out there that the initiative requires people to get an enhanced driver's license. It does not do that. It simply recognizes an enhanced driver's license as one of several documents that would establish someone's citizenship. There are other documents that would satisfy: a birth certificate, naturalization papers, and the list follows, frankly, federal law on what constitutes establishing, proving your citizenship. So if you hear someone say that this is a Trojan horse way of making people get enhanced driver's licenses, that's not true. Now, how would it be implemented? What it does is it charges the local election officials. In 38 counties, that's your county auditor. In King County, it is a separately elected elections administrator to essentially check the citizenship. So it's the local election official at the county level who has to see proof of citizenship before registering someone to vote. Now, the initiative doesn't do anything about voting. It doesn't change mail-in voting, and the Seattle Times screwed that all up by saying it would end mail-in voting. It doesn't end mail-in voting. That comes later. This one is just about proving citizenship when you register. Now, existing state law that is not affected by the initiative requires those local county election officials to update their voter databases on an ongoing basis. Combine the new requirement of proof of citizenship with the existing duty to update the database on a regular basis. That creates essentially an ongoing requirement for the auditor to audit the voter rolls.
Yay!
Now, you, a voter, only has to prove citizenship once. But the auditor has to be checking for citizenship, whether it's been proved by voters on the database on an ongoing basis. Again, that's not the initiative, that's existing state law says that. So what the initiative does really is it puts teeth in the existing state law about checking identity of registered voters. This accomplishes some things we want accomplished. It effectively cleans up the databases with teeth, with a mechanism for actually removing people who are dead or are not citizens or have moved away off the database. Because you've got to prove you're a citizen at least one time. It will affect primarily new registered voters, but at some point in a 2-year cycle after the initiative passes into law, if it does, you will have to prove that you are a citizen of the United States, and do it by providing any one of several documents that show that you are a citizen. As I said, it could be a birth certificate, it could be a passport. The initiative describes the documents that will work. I would say that the process would be very similar to how getting a driver's license used to be, or how getting a passport is today. It's analogous to that. Yes, it does put some onus on people to prove they're citizens, but I don't think it's an undue burden, although the people outside in costumes might say differently. So the mechanics combine a new requirement for proving you're a citizen with existing state law that says the local officials have to be updating on a regular, ongoing basis. So it is easy to enforce, it does not require an enhanced driver's license, and it will clean up our voter rolls.
May add quickly, and then we'll come to you, is ultimately, guys, realize at the center of this, what Jim and what we're trying to do is by pushing this initiative, most importantly, we want the people to know that we hear you. This is one of the most important issues that conservatives care about, is the integrity of our elections. And we are going to push through this initiative, whether or not legislators in your state are going to do so, and we're going to give the people a vote because it's the right thing to do. That's why we're doing this. Now, when it came to your question too, think about this for a second. In Wisconsin earlier this year, with the people of Wisconsin elected a Democrat Supreme Court justice while enshrining voter ID into the state constitution. And in Nevada in 2024, even Clark County, which includes Las Vegas, voted overwhelmingly for voter ID for round 1 in 2024, which will go up for round 2 in 2026. What I'm saying to you is, if we get this passed and it goes on the ballot going into November 2026, there is a strong likelihood that the people of Washington, even lefties and the people outside, even some of them, will vote in favor of passing that into law. And so you get it on the ballot, we have a strong likelihood of having more election integrity in Washington state. And one last comment. I make you a promise, and I have witnesses, all y'all. You get this passed and get it on the ballot November 2026, I promise right here and now that I will come back to Washington and we will also do an initiative to rid this state of automatic vote by mail.
Hi, Scott.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Donna. So nice to see you.
Hi, Donna.
So, lovely Terry, right? Terry and I, we were brave enough to go over there and talk to the people in the costumes. Hat, right? I probably scared them with my MAGA hat, but so I kept asking them why is what's going on here, and they really didn't have any answers. So when you go over there, they're not going to have any answers for you. But she kept saying it's illegal because of poll tax. So I don't know. Yeah, right, Mom? Right. And we were like, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean? Oh, well, that's out there, I swear. So, what do you, but can you give me more detail? Nothing. Yeah, she wanted me to live that.
Bless her heart. So Texas, because I'll tell you Texas because I used to live down there, voter ID is a requirement in the beautiful state of Texas. And even in Virginia, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, they give free voter IDs to anyone that needs them to fulfill those requirements, which are free by the state or the Commonwealth. So no, that completely negates any argument of there being a tax because it's provided in most cases by the state. And considering this is Washington State where everything is free, they'll probably have that too. But listen, how about when we're done and I shake every hand, I'll go back.
On the issue, on this criticism that it's a poll tax, the federal law has a clear definition of what a poll tax is. Requiring voter ID is not in the description of what constitutes a poll tax. A poll tax is, of course, something they used during Jim Crow days in the South. They would charge people a tax before they could vote in person. You'd have to pay to vote. Requiring voter ID is not described in existing law that describes what a poll tax is. So for them to say it's a poll tax is just not accurate. It's not a poll
Hi, Scott. Long-time listener, first-time caller. So I've been working in politics since like 2020. We have a lot of passionate patriots in a very blue state, and you've been to a lot of other blue states with a lot of people that look just like this, I'm sure. So what have you seen that's been the most effective in convincing independent and swing voters? Because as much as we love our Republicans here, we can't win without independents and swing voters. So what have you seen, whether it's like an economic issue, cultural, what has been the most effective to get those people to at least in that election vote with us?
Thank you. Well, Snohomish, sorry. So David isn't just one of those people that posts on social media, but he actually knocks on doors and collects signatures, and I hope all of y'all are inspired by that activism. So, what were the 3 reasons, in my opinion, why Donald Trump and Republicans won in 2024? 3 major things. One, of course, the economy, economic failure of the previous administration. Number 2 is the crisis at the border with illegal immigration and, what do they call her, the border czar, Kamala Harris, and her inability to secure the border. And then 3rd is peace, not war. And I think so far, Donald Trump has secured the border, and I think we have the lowest amount of illegal alien encounters ever at our border, so that's good. And right now, we don't have any nuclear capability of Iran, and we're actually fighting for peace in the Middle East, and we're trying to stop the Ukrainian-Russian conflict. I think those are good things, right? And then, of course, we are working towards economic relief on behalf of working class America. And I think Donald Trump even just secured ending tariffs on major foods, etc., on behalf of working class America. So I would argue Donald Trump is keeping his major promises on behalf of the American people. Now, here's the one thing that really concerns me, David. So let's talk. I know best NJ and PA because I just did work over there. So Jack Ciattarelli was running for governor, and in 2021 he lost his election by 84,000 votes. So we are always kind of working towards that number. Now I will tell you, even though Jack lost, so the Democrats got a huge amount of people. They jumped from like 1.3 to 1.8 from 2021 to 2025. Republicans did turn out 120,000 more voters in 2025 than 2021. It wasn't enough. And in Pennsylvania, we turn out 120,000 more Republicans in a municipal election than we did in 2023. So we did our role. We got Republicans out. But in the state of New Jersey, where the #1 complaint I heard was property taxes, electricity bills, water bills, they voted for the same Democrat Party that's been in power for 25 years in Trenton. So I don't know how to answer that, David, in an off-year election. I think it's probably a couple of factors. If I had to be bluntly honest with you, here's probably what happened this last November. Is A, Republicans are a 1 out of 4 voter. We don't turn out every single year like the Democrats do. I think that's certainly part of it. Perhaps some people aren't extremely happy about the economic relief within 1 year of the president's administration, and perhaps they didn't show out because of that. And number 3 is Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing that you guys suffer from here in Washington State. And it could be all three of those factors that came together. But I think it is important to note that Republicans did turn out more voters. It just, the Democrats turned out more. And that's why I'm trying to get people to do an all of the above approach to voting. And I say, listen, I know you're not happy about it, but let me take Oregon as an example for a second and how I think we can use that to help Washington. So in 2022, you had a woman running for governor of Oregon. Her name is Christine Drazen, and I think she's actually running for governor again for 2026. She lost her election, and I use lost loosely, I know. She lost by 62,000 votes. Can anyone give me a number of how many Oregonian Republicans they think did not vote in the 2022 election? Give me a number!
100,000.
More than 62,000. More! Okay, babe, start small. 5 million! No. Christine Drazen had 120,000 Oregonian Republicans that did not vote in an election that was decided by 62,000 voters. Remember how I told you there are more of us than them? I think that especially on the left coast, the west coast, there are a lot of disenfranchised, demoralized, disenchanted Republicans who believe that the state is blue and it will always be blue, and so therefore they're not going to vote, and so therefore when we lose it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and they go, well, I told you so, it's blue, I'll always be blue. Did you vote? No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So, where I'm going with this is, guys, try. I know this is gonna make everyone cringe and collectively perk for a second, but in this next election in 2026, please, try doing the Democrat tactic of ballot harvesting. Ballot harvest so good, you're gonna make the Democrats want to ban it because we elected Republicans in 2026.
Amen.
And so I voted on voting day, a little less than halfway through the day, and it was ironic because I went to I voted him, and they didn't have any left in English, but they had 5 other languages, and she said they had run out of the English ones hours prior. So that was interesting.
Matt, what is the mechanic that if somebody doesn't get their ballot in the state of Washington, tell me what that process is. Again, I'm ignorant of Washington.
Yeah, so if you go to votewa.gov, if you don't have your ballot, you can go to votewa.gov, log in with your first, your last name, and your birthday, and you can click print a replacement ballot right at home. Yeah, many of you are going, what? Yes, I've had a printer in my car, and I do it for people outdoors all the time. So, literally, this is what you do, is you go there and do print replacement ballot, you get it, you put it, and people go, well, do I put it in a different envelope? Nope, just put it in an envelope, seal it up with your signature, there's a sheet that'll be in there, seal it up, and take it to the auditor's office, and it'll be good to go.
Can I actually address a previous question?
Yeah.
Okay, so someone asked about independence. I'm a libertarian. I'm here. A lot of that is because they don't want us there. They call us MAGA, they call us all sorts of names, they call us fascists and Nazis. We're libertarians. How are we Nazis? Talk to us. They ignore us. Don't do the same. What we need votes.
Can we thank this libertarian for
One thing, I don't know if any of you heard this, but this happened to me personally, but like 4 or 5 years ago, somebody mentioned you've got to check the voter rolls. What they've done when they reset, like if you're Republican in this state, they either deleted you, you had to call them and re-up. What do you mean I'm not a voter or not registered to vote? That is one thing, but you've got to go on there, and what they've done many times, when I found this out, I checked, and sure as heck, they had a D next to it, registered as a Democrat, and I'm not. And so I put that word out amongst a bunch of friends and found darn near half of my friends have been Republicans their whole life. And this state has flipped them in there. You've got to each individually check your voter status in the computer. And I'm telling you, they're trying every trick in the book. Along like, I can't remember which state, but just in this previous election with the see-through, envelopes on the Republicans.
California.
They just toss them out, yeah. And on the flip side, how do we know any of this stuff that we're having initiatives on that, hopefully we get to vote on next year, or even how do we know they're not gonna end up in a US Postal Service van parked in the backwoods loaded with duffel bags of Republican votes and stuff, even on these initiatives here?
Because we're not going to be taking black pills anymore. So, I would say I understand your hesitation, and to anyone that's saying, well, number one, again, we're doing this because it's the right thing to do. And when I was just with James O'Keefe, a man of integrity and honor. I was listening to all these stories of whistleblowers who saw something happening within our government that shouldn't be happening. And gosh, they have put their lives on the line, and the government is currently suing many of them for speaking out. And honestly, that's how I feel right now. Yes, November was awful, and I'm still reeling from that. But I simply refuse to stop. And I simply refuse to see terrible things happen. And I'm not going to sit back and roll over and not take action. I refuse to stop. For a second, do you know what the DOJ did in this New Jersey election? They sent monitors to California to monitor their election, as well as New Jersey. And so I will say that this new Department of Justice, and this is neither red nor blue, one vote, one lawful vote for every eligible American citizen. I hope that the DOJ is going to get more involved in the 2026 election, and if any past behavior is indicative of future behavior, I would say that if they had an interest in 2025, hopefully you'll see that DOJ interest in the 2026 midterm elections as well. Let's do one more, and then I want to meet everybody and shake every hand and take a photo. So I'm not leaving. I am not leaving.
I did sign all the initiatives, but that's not why I'm here. I want to learn where I need to volunteer, where we can make change, that way common sense is in Olympia and not on these initiatives.
Thank you.
Whether I need to talk to any of the local politicians, I want to know where to start.
Thank you. What's your name?
Jeremiah.
So, Mr. Jeremiah, your executive director of the WA GOP is right there, Mr. Matt Brown. And in fact, his cell phone number is... No, I'm kidding. Listen, you have a really great opportunity, guys. Your ED is here. Your chairman is here. He's a representative and chairman fighting for you. Shake Jim Walsh's hand before you leave today. Thank him for being an active, constructive chairman that's fighting on a Sunday that he doesn't have to be here for you in Marysville. And with that being said, I'm sticking around. Thank you to every single one of you. Sign the petition. Take a blank page with you. And I make a promise. You get this on the ballot for November 2026. I will come back and I will help you end automatic vote by mail in Washington State. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
There's for these, there's a self-addressed envelope in there, and just fill it out, fold it up, put it in the envelope, and mail it in. This one, you have to mail it to the center. Thank you.